Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. The 24th of month are just around the corner, and the big question between all the LMP1 teams and drivers is what car to take for the 24th of month this year, the Porsche 919 or the Audi R18. So our video today is going to be about these two amazing machines. My name is Gonçalo Narciso, I'm 32 years old and I am from Portugal. I am been iRacing for the past 3 years, where one of the half years is been on these two machines where I drive both cars already for a long time. So I'm gonna talk to you about what I think is bad and good about the two cars. We're gonna start to talking about the Porsche a little bit and later on about the Audi. And after that I'm gonna talk about how I use the hybrid system in the both cars. So guys, stick around. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have anything to add, just give your comment below. And that's it for now. Let's go talk about the Porsche then. So Porsche 919, my favorite car in LMP1, no doubt. Most of the time I'm driving this car. I prefer the Porsche than the Audi, but it's my opinion. Like, there is some people who just drive the Audi every year, no matter what track. I prefer to go with the Porsche. So for me, what's good about this car? It's easier to drive than the Audi overall. Like turning, turnout, braking, all that things are, for me, it's better than the Audi. It's one of the good things about the Porsche. Another plus in the Porsche is the battery generate during straight line speed. What's on the Audi that doesn't happen now. What that means, when you go in straight line, the battery starts to generate from the exhaust pipe system, what gives some battery to the electric motor on the hybrid system. So that gives you a little bit of extra boost during the straight. Like when somebody's catching you, you can use a little bit extra in that part of the track. But of course, on the next part of the track, you're gonna lose a little bit of battery for that part. But it is how it is, so you can use that or not. So the down part about the Porsche, it's definitely the gearing. You're going from 7th gear in first gear all the time, and you have to gearing up and down a lot. So that's during a lot of time in the car. It's getting a little bit tired, and also can get you confused between using second gear or third gear and first gear. So that's where it's complicated a little bit, but it's one of the downsides. Another downside, usually once comparing to the Audi, it's the top speed of the car. Most times are a bit less than the Audi, but that's not a big deal after 24 hours. I think it's not because of the top speed it's going to make the difference at the end of the race, but it is one of the downsides. A big issue for me on the Porsche, it's the fuel laps. Like usually you only can do 11 laps when you flare out on the Porsche, and in order to you to do 12 laps you have to save a little bit of fuel, so you have to coast around the track, use a different map, fuel, whatever you want to do about saving to reach the 12 lap stint. That's what Audi do on this stint is 12 laps. So if you go into 11 laps per stint, at the end of the 24 hours it's gonna be 4 or 5 more stops than you're supposed to do when you do 12 laps stint. Another downside about the Porsche this year, it's with all the batteries change on the car, we end up not using the 100% of battery per lap. So after you do 3 or 4 laps with the car, or I'm talking about in my case, I cannot generate enough power to reach 100% of my battery every lap. So uh, so that depends. You're always gonna lose a little bit of battery at the end of at the end of each lap. But it is how it is. But overall, for me, it's an incredible car. Drives really well. In traffic, it's really good to go between the GTs on the HPDs. So it's really good to drive. It's really enjoyable. So after this, we're gonna talk about the Audi next. And so guys, stick around, and Audi it's coming in next. So Audi R18, the other German monster, the Tractor like most people call it. Another incredible machine developed by the Audi. It wins in reality 4 times the R6 in Le Mans. So yes, it's 4 times wins in Le Mans, so it's really good machine. So we're gonna start by talking the good thing about this car. It's definitely the top speed in straight line. It's just incredible sick. The car just wants to push down the straight. It's incredible how fast this car can go. So definitely that's a plus in Lumas because you need cars with top speed. Another thing it's good on the car, it's the battery life. You can use the 100% of the battery every lap, no problem. The the energy generates from braking and braking only. This car just generates battery under brake, not in straight line. So that's braking gonna generate enough battery to use 100% of the battery every single lap, no problem. Another good thing is the stint laps. 12 laps per stint, no problem, no fuel saving needed, nothing like that. Just drive around the track. Sorry, with no problem about that. You don't even need to think about it. So that's the plus on the Audi. The downside on the Audi for me is it's a little bit harder to drive than the Porsche. It's also really different in driving than the Porsche. Or like it's a little bit more tricky. I don't know. Like when you drive it, you're gonna feel it. Like the way you drive the car, it feels a little bit more unstable than than the Porsche. At least for me. Another thing, it's the braking. The brakes on these cars are a lot more touchy than the Porsche. Let's see, like a Porsche brakes almost like a F1 car. Like you can go with the pedal almost all the way down and braking hard under the brakes. The the Audi for me, it's like a little bit more close to the GT. You have to be a little bit more gentle, and the braking brakes also really good, but you have to be a lot more gentle on your foot in the brake because it's a lot more easier to lock brakes than in the Porsche. No doubt about it. Another thing could be not that good, it's the battery management. Like, because if you screw up, like you have to wait till the next braking area to get more energy on on the battery. So if you get cut with no battery available, you definitely are screwed till the next braking area. The Porsche has always that little bit generates during the straight line, so you have to be a little bit more careful on the way you use your battery uh, in mm, in order to have all the time energy available on your electric motor. So, and saying this, we're gonna to the next part of last part of our video, where we're gonna talk about the how to use the battery system in both cars. Again, I'm gonna start by the Porsche and then the Audi. We're gonna do 2 laps on board, one in each car. So I hope you guys like it and stick around to the next part. Okay, so let's go. So here we go, Porsche 919 lap. So no hybrid boost system used on the first couple turns. So over here you do all this area with no hybrid boost used in order to save to the straight line. Really careful over here to not go into the grass there on the outside. And as soon as you go into the big straight, like pull down that button, we are gonna use about 20% of the battery. On this first part. No. First chicane done. You use another 10% about that. You know, so till here you have like 30% till 35% around that of battery used. We're going in the second chicane. And now way to Muslim. So now over here you're gonna push the battery almost till 50% of your battery. Not more than that, because you really need that battery for the next long straight till to Indianapolis. So you have to save that battery. It's just 50% till this point of the track. And over here it's where you drain down the battery. Whatever you have on the battery life, just pull it down and try to push as much as you can in these threads. It's really important you can get that battery available to get really good top speed over here. So down to second gear, hard brake. Really nice turn to make. Over here, first gear again, turn, and let's go. Now you're gonna try to leave about 10% of the battery available, if you can, but as you can see, it short out a little bit, so you use about 85% at this point. So it's all much you can do. So Porsche curves, my favorite part of the track. I love to do these turns, like incredible how fast you can go throughout this part on the car. And no battery use over here. Try to save to the straight. And here the 4 chicanes to the finish line. And the over here use also a little bit, but as you can see, you almost didn't use all the battery. So I hope you guys like the lap. Now we're gonna go to the Audi next. So let's go. So and now the Audi R18. Over here it's a little bit easier to see the battery in numbers than in a Porsche. So again, exactly the same thing. No hybrid boost used over here. It's really similar the way you use the boost in both cars. So, but I'm gonna show it anyway. Oh, I use very similar in both cars on this track. So no battery use. You have 100% of the battery available over here, but still no use, no battery. Over here, drain down to 25% on the battery. Try not to be looking too much at the numbers, because if you look at the numbers, you are not looking at the road in front of you. So try to keep your eyes in the road, let's say. So first chicane. We are braking. Try to go till 35% to 40%. I go all the time to 38. I don't know. I cannot stop the finger at 35, but it is how it is. So and down to the second chicane. Try over here to use just till 50% over here. Exactly the same as in the Porsche, 50% till this part of the track, in order to have the boost to the other side. Muslim turn, and let's go use all the battery you have available. This goes till 70 something percent all the time, 74, 77. Depends how much you're braking, but it's all the time in those numbers. Down to Indianapolis, really good straight line speeds. Now we're on the way to the Porsche curves. You go to the battery till 90% only, not touch anymore till after the fourth chicanes. This car is a bit harder over here, a bit harder to push the car inside, but still really nice, manageable to go. No hybrid boost used over here. And down the other 10% over here on this part in order to go into the next lap. And there you go. It's a lap around once. It's how I use my hybrid boost. I hope I have you help you guys. Okay guys, so that's it for now. I hope you like the video. I hope it was useful for you to in order to choose your car for this season. For this season, I mean for this 24 hours of months. I hope you guys have all good races, and I only see you in the track for the 24 hours. We all gonna be there. Hopefully, if there is no problems at all. I wanna thanks Luciano for helping me doing this short video where he's driving the Audi over here alongside me. And I wanna thank you, Hugo Matos, my old friend already. Like we have been on the same team for like more than a decade now. He's the guy who made these incredible paint jobs, Portuguese paint jobs, of course. I'm gonna leave in the description is trading paint for whoever wants to download these paint jobs. They are very beautiful. So guys, take care. See you next time. It was really good to make this video. So and after I go, sorry, leave your comment below if you wanna add anything, or if you wanted to tell me if something is wrong about whatever I said. I'm open to see your points of view and answer all the commentaries as I can. So see you guys later. Thank you very much for watching. Have good races.